Picking the right automation tool, man, it can be tough. And it's so critical to get it right. So today we're doing just that. We're putting two absolute heavyweights head-to-head in the ultimate automation showdown, Zapier versus n8n. So that's the million-dollar question, right? Which one is actually the right fit for you, for your project, your team, and let's be real, your wallet? Don't worry, by the time we're done with this explainer, you're going to have a super clear framework to make that exact call. All right, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the automation showdown, then jump into a feature comparison. Think power versus simplicity. After that, we'll tackle pricing, which is a whole different ballgame, tasks versus executions. Then we'll get into the big philosophical debate, control or convenience. And finally, we'll wrap it all up to help you make your choice. Let's get into it. Okay, let's kick it off with our automation showdown. Before we really get into the weeds, we got to meet the contenders. And trust me, understanding their core philosophy right from the start is key, because as you're about to see, they are coming from completely different worlds. So in this corner, we've got Zapier. You can think of it as the cloud-based veteran. It's the ultimate set it and forget it service, fully managed, completely hands-off. You build something and it just runs on their servers. That means you never, ever have to think about infrastructure or maintenance or annoying updates. It's all about one thing, convenience. And in the other corner, we have n8n, that's n8n, by the way, the open source powerhouse. And if Zapier is all about convenience, n8n is all about flexibility and control. And here's the real kicker. You can run it on your own servers for free, giving you total command. Or you can use their cloud service. But that fundamental choice, that self-hosting option, that changes everything. All right, let's talk features. This is where those two different philosophies we just talked about really come to life. What we're about to see is a classic matchup, the sheer massive breadth of Zapier against the incredible fine-tuned depth of n8n's power. First up, integrations. This is a huge one. Zapier's superpower is its absolutely massive, industry-leading library. I mean, thousands of apps. If there's a popular SaaS tool out there, chances are Zapier can connect to it right out of the box. n8n, on the other hand, has hundreds of pre-built nodes, which is great, but its real magic? Raw flexibility. It has these generic nodes that let you connect to literally any service that has an API. Anything. Now, when we talk about what you can actually do inside a workflow, this is where the gap between them gets really, really wide. Zapier is fantastic for straight-line A to B to C kinds of workflows. You can even add some simple branching with its paths feature. But n8n, it's playing a whole different game. We're talking about complex logic like loops, if this then that switches, and even running different tasks at the same time in parallel. So the bottom line is, if your workflow needs to do more than just follow a simple, straight path, n8n is built from the ground up for that kind of deep custom logic. And the same pattern holds true for AI and extensibility. Zapier uses AI to make your life easier. Its Copilot feature helps you build your automations faster. Again, it's about convenience. And n8n, well, true to its nature, it gives you the raw power. It provides the building blocks, like flexible nodes for OpenAI and Hugging Face, so you can construct complex, custom AI agents from scratch. See the pattern? Simplicity versus power. All right, let's talk about money. Section 3, pricing. And folks, this is a huge deal. We're not just looking at a price list here. These two platforms have completely different ways of charging you, and it can make a massive difference to your bill, especially as you scale. It all comes down to one crucial difference: tasks versus executions. Just take a quick look at this. For the exact same number of operations every month, the cost difference can be, well, pretty wild. So why is that? It's all about what they decide to charge you for. Okay, here's the breakdown. Zapier is task-based. That means every single action is a task. The trigger, a filter, an action step, each one dings your account. So if you have a workflow with 10 steps, that's 10 tasks every time it runs. You can see how that adds up fast, right? Now, n8n is execution-based. A whole workflow run from start to finish is just one execution. It doesn't matter if it has 5 steps or 50, it's one execution. This makes your costs way more predictable, especially if you're building complex stuff. And of course, the self-hosted community edition is, completely free. Moving on, we get to the real heart of the matter. This goes way beyond features and price. This is the big philosophical choice you have to make. It's the ultimate trade-off. Do you want total control or do you want ultimate convenience? So if you go with Zapier, you're choosing the managed path. The upside here is massive. It's just easy. You don't have to think about servers or security patches or whether the thing is still online. They handle all of that. It's super reliable. The catch? Well, your data is flowing through their systems and you have basically zero control over the hardware it's running on. It's convenience, but you do give up control. Now, the self-hosted path with n8n, it completely flips out on its head. The huge advantage is what's called data sovereignty. Your data lives where you say it lives, on your servers, in your private cloud, within your country's borders. You are in complete control. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? You're now in charge of the setup, the maintenance, the security, and the backups, which definitely takes a bit of technical comfort. And as you'd probably guess, this totally changes the learning curve. Zapier is famous for being super beginner-friendly. Its interface is simple, linear, and just makes sense. It's pretty much perfect for non-technical users who just want to connect two apps and have it work in like 5 minutes. n8n's visual, node-based canvas is incredibly powerful, but yeah, it's a steeper climb. You're really going to unlock its full potential if you're comfortable with concepts like APIs, how data is structured, and maybe even a little JavaScript. All right, deep breath. We've covered the platforms, the features, the pricing, and the core philosophies. So for this final section, let's put it all together. I'm going to give you a really clear framework to help you make the right call. So let's do a quick recap of the pros and cons. With Zapier, the pros are, it's super easy to use, has that gigantic app library, and it's totally managed for you. The cons? It can get expensive with that task-based pricing, and it's not built for super complex logic. Now for n8n, the pros, it's incredibly flexible, has that predictable pricing, and you get full control over your data. The cons? Definitely a steeper learning curve, and if you self-host, you're the one doing all the maintenance. So how do you actually choose? Just ask yourself these 4 simple questions. Number 1, how technical are you really? Do you want point and click, or are you cool with managing a server? Number 2, what's the deal with your data? Does it absolutely have to stay on your own systems? No exceptions? Number 3, think about your workflows. Are you going to be running thousands of simple little tasks or a smaller number of really complex ones? And finally, number 4, what's your budget strategy? Is a predictable cost as you scale the most important factor? And here's a little pro tip. It doesn't always have to be one or the other. In fact, a lot of really smart teams use a hybrid approach. They use Zapier for all the quick and easy stuff, connecting one cloud app to another. And then they use n8n as the heavy-duty engine for their really complex internal pipelines that need custom logic and complete data control. So, there you have it. We've laid out the facts, the features, and the frameworks. Now the only question left is for you. Based on your needs and everything we've talked about today, which tool are you choosing and what incredible automations are you going to build with it?